Hey guys, Dean Gravina here. I'm here with Adrian Dekker. I've actually been seeing Adrian's posts on LinkedIn, and Adrian said he's actually been around for a while, but he's been blowing up lately. And I actually bought his course, or his I guess he's got a lot of material on Google Ads. So I thought I'd reach out to Adrian. Welcome. Now I've got 3 icebreaker questions for you, and you can rapid fire at me, or you could give me an extended answer. It's actually up to you. The first one, really basic one. What's your favorite, PMax or a standard search campaign or other?
That's a hard one. I think still that would be. I think it would be a search campaign if I had to choose because you have more control.
Yeah, yeah, awesome, man. Another one, really random question, I guess. I know you can't really choose because you can choose both, but obviously in terms of your bidding strategy or your optimization strategy, max clicks or max conversions?
Max conversions. I've even seen it work in accounts where I did A/B tests, and even with a low count, it's still sometimes outperformed max clicks. So I think max conversions is better than max clicks maybe, but it depends. But if I had to choose, I would say max conversions, I think.
I don't know anyone who's ever run a campaign on max clicks, just max clicks. Obviously, you start off with max clicks, right? But
Yeah, depends. Just to add some context, because otherwise I can say every time it depends. So if you want to gather data, for example, it's great. I think most people start manual CPC or max clicks. I think max clicks can have some upside if you have it really strict, your campaign. So a lot of good keywords that do not have a lot of room, for example. Otherwise, yeah, the system will go after queries that are maybe not interesting. But most people I know, and I've done some polls on this, start with max CPC or manual CPC.
yeah, man, this is actually one like outside Google Ads. If you won $10 million tomorrow, besides Google Ads, what would you spend it on?
Uh, I think in a home abroad, and if it would be business outside Google Ads, I think I would start my own gym.
Sweet, man. And then you spend the money back on Google Ads, right? Gotcha, man.
If I had a gym, I do not think I would spend it on Google Ads. I think I would spend it more on the social platforms, just the platforms where you see the influencers. That's the same with me. I don't use Google Ads for myself. I'm just active on LinkedIn, and that works really well. And I think it would be hard for me to get. Maybe now it's easier because more people know me. But if people don't know me and they click on my search result, they think I'm just a freelancer, you know?
Yeah,
So
100%, man. We're getting into that. Man, like I've only recently come across your stuff probably in the last, I'd say 3 months. I'd love for you
yeah.
to give like an introduction. I've thrown your name around here in Australia, and I think your name is getting quite big now. So did you want to like introduce yourself? Like how long you been doing this? How did you start? All that sort of stuff.
Yeah, sure. So I started around 5 years ago with freelancing. I just started. I even started during my thesis, so I was still in school. I got the chance. Before that, I was just delivering Chinese food. I was totally done with that. I wanted to do something with my study that was also in online marketing, e-commerce, and sales. That was how my study called, how they called it. So I got a job, and I could start as a freelancer. So I went to the Chamber of Commerce and started my own company as a freelancer. And in the beginning, it was just more general marketing. I knew some things about LinkedIn growth, and how you could use these platforms. And in online marketing space, Google Ads is really big. So after some while, they asked me if I could look into Google Ads, and I was also interested in getting more clients. And I had some experience from my school in Google Ads because we were doing some faculties with Google Ads. So we already had to search for some companies and try Google Ads in school. So that was really cool. So basically, I saw a job posting for only Google Ads. So before that, I was more general marketing, and then I saw one for only Google Ads. Yeah, they asked, "Can you come over?" I said, "Of course." And then we had a talk. He said, "Can you do Google Ads?" And I was like, "Of course I can do Google Ads." And basically, yeah, that's where it started. I started learning more about Google Ads, but still only had two clients, and I had still enough of time. So lost Google Ads clients due to COVID, unfortunately. Um, yeah, and then I was like, okay, I need more clients, and how do I get more clients? And I knew from my internships and the LinkedIn growth that I was doing for the other company that I could also start for myself. And I wanted to learn even more about ads and I wanted to get clients. And I was thinking, can I get a combination? And I was like, okay, what if I start posting on LinkedIn to grow, to get clients? And everything I learn, I can just post it there, right? So
Mhm.
that's basically how it started. And I already saw that Google Ads is changing a lot. So all the news items, I can share those. And like, for example, search engine land does not post every small change. So I saw a gap and I was like, okay, if I post every small change, people will follow me.
Mhm.
People will understand my knowledge. And that's how it started.
Yeah.
First year, I was just posting in Dutch. And later, 1 year after that, I started posting in English. And
Yeah.
yeah, we're growing really fast now. So I'm happy with it.
Yeah, man, you've done really, really well. So it's been a bit of a journey, man. So like you sort of started off during your study, and then you sort of went to the, like you said, the Chamber of Commerce, and then you just sort of all really started off the back of you posting on LinkedIn. Now you've sort of blown up, man, which is amazing. I've actually got a tab open here with all your resources, and it's just I haven't actually seen anything like this before. I think you'd be the best person to ask, man, if you're let's say you're a local business, right? Or a startup e-com, because I know a lot of people watching these sorts of videos would be people probably maybe testing the waters, and they're potentially looking at getting started with Google Ads. They might have an existing business and they're looking for more clients, especially in this economy, right? So what would be, let's take a local business first. What is your sort of like approach to sort of building like a successful Google ad um, campaign? And what are like the core elements? Like, for example, is it the headline? Is it the bidding strategy? Like, let's say let's start off with a local business, then we can go to e-com.
It's searching what will work for the account, right? Especially if they never had an account before. So if a client comes to me, it's always the question, okay, have you run Google Ads before? Yes or no? That's the first most important question. Then the second, if you have run it before, did you make profit? What is your goal, for example? So when we start an account and we have no data, nothing, it's really testing a lot of things, right? And you can choose different strategies. You can say, oh, I'm going broad immediately, a lot of search terms, all the products, I want all the products. Or you say, I just want my top products that are already selling organically. And then it's also the question, is this company already selling organically, or is it just starting off and do they want to test products with ads? So important to understand is that, for example, if a company has never done ads before, it can take some months before we start seeing success. Of course, we have seen the cases on LinkedIn where everybody's talking about, oh, we get a ROAS of 10 immediately, for example. But you only read good cases on LinkedIn, right? Or on other platforms. So it can take some months. Sometimes it takes me some months
Yeah.
to really test with different products, for example, if I'm using shopping. And for local, it can be the same. Maybe we need to still work on your landing page. Maybe we need to work on your offer. Maybe you have 5 different offers and we need to test different offers. I don't know what your budget is, right? If you have a lot of budget, we can test all the offers maybe.
Yeah.
So it really depends, right? And I think when you begin, you do not want to throw all your money away. Otherwise, you can get a lot of stress, right? You're like, oh, I'm already spending 5,000 a month and I'm not getting anything back. So just look what you can invest without stressing too much, and give it some time. I would say it can take 3 to 3 months, maybe sometimes, to get a good strategy or setup,
Yeah. Well,
because
I
you
mean,
need to test
yeah, the reason
things.
why I asked you that is because, I mean, I've worked with a lot of business owners and a lot of them need it now, right? And that's why they want to sort of start. And that's why I'm asking you that question. I know it takes a while, but can I ask you a question with your experience? When I know this is a very hard question and I don't know it depends, but do you often see that with your sort of strategy that you set up, you're often seeing, are you looking for early signs of success, maybe in the first week, in the first month, in the first 2 months? What are the signals that, hey, this is going the right way?
So of course, I would want to have success from day one, but depending on the budget, that it can take some time. Like I already said, signals we're looking at, of course, if we get enough conversions, that will be great. If we do not get conversions, we can look at the behavior on the website. Are people going to the checkout? Are they adding the product? What is the time on the website? Which products are already selling and why? So we can also go a level above the Google Ads. What is the core strength of your business? And why are people buying your products, right? I mean, you need to have a good offer also for ads, because you're competing with other companies and people can also click on other companies if they have better headlines, a better price, for example. Um, so yeah, those are some things where I will look at. So like I said,
Yeah,
I would love to have enough conversions to say if it's working, yes or no. But if you do
sure.
not have those, you need to look at other things that are maybe a bit more vague, but you do not have anything else.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, that was actually sort of going to be my sort of next question. When you audit, I mean, you probably audit hundreds of ad accounts, right? And I know this depends as well, but is there a common theme of ad accounts set up not in the right way? Because I've worked with business owners running Google ads and Meta ads. Most recently, you wouldn't believe this, right? I saw someone spend $20,000 on Meta ads and not one lead.
Yeah.
It was really, really interesting. And they were set up for leads. Yes, some of it was going for a traffic campaign. Um, is there a common theme if someone's watching this, to say a local business owner, and they're watching this, and what are some problems that are sort of on a reoccurring basis that sort of people running Google Ads should really have set up correctly?
Are you asking this for local business offers or for
Let's say
local
both,
businesses, or
whatever
is
you
it
feel like
general?
in general.
So in general, I've seen it in more advanced strategies like offline conversion tracking,
Mhm.
profit conversion tracking, so POAS, server side tracking. Normally, a lot of companies don't do these things.
Mhm.
So that's one thing that I'm seeing. Also, companies with not enough conversions using PMAX, that's another big thing. Um, Also, companies just spending money on things that don't work, right? Like ask yourself the question, what works and what do I want? Do I want profit or revenue, right? And how much do I want and where do I want to invest? Because also sometimes I see a lot of budget going to campaigns that are not working, and I'm like, okay, but if we get this budget to another campaign, you would have more success. But then it's also, what do you want? Do you want to sell more of these services or products?
Mhm.
So there are all questions that you need to have the answer for. And that's why it's so important for me to ask companies, okay, what do you want to sell? And what are the goals? Because if we do not have a goal, I cannot aim for something, right?
Yeah, now you sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Let me take it back a bit, man, because look, in my time, I've worked for some really large marketing agencies in Australia, and I know that a lot of the PPC specialists are great at what they do, but not everyone has the technical ability for say something like offline tracking or server side. Maybe we could cater this question to someone who's a PPC specialist in an agency that doesn't know much about server side tracking, because it is quite quite complicated, right? So maybe like what would be the benefits of, say, like a business owner who hasn't got set up server-side tracking, or a PPC specialist in an agency who's just using enhanced conversion tracking through the Google Ads platform, or they're using GA4 integration. Run me through, because I know you said that and you just sort of touched over. I think that's something you could deep dive into a bit more.
We just want to have accurate data to make decisions, right? If I know if I know that I can scale my campaign. So for example, let's say my campaign is I'm spending 1,000 and I'm getting back 5,000, and I'm like, yeah, I have ROAS of 5. That's the max. But maybe you're getting more out of your campaign if you're measuring with the right tools. Maybe it's 6,000, and you can say, oh, let's up my budget a bit. I can do maybe 1,200 or 1,400. So basically, better data, better decisions, more revenue, more profit. I would say, of course, use POAS. That's better. But you
What's
can
that?
just make better
For
decisions.
people that don't know what that is, like, what is that? Maybe deep dive into
Okay.
that.
Yeah, sure. ROAS is bidding on your revenue,
Uh-huh.
so ad spend revenue, and POAS is bidding on profit. And
Okay.
why is this so important? Is that I can sell products in one campaign, and I can sell, for example, 2 products, and one product has ROAS of let's say 1,000%, and the other or 700%.
Mm.
And then I would say, okay, I want at least 1,000% for this campaign.
Mhm.
But then you are losing on the 700% because you would rather want to say, okay, let's do 700 for the one and 1,000 for the other.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. With POAS, everything above 1 is profitable. So you get way more volume that way.
Wow.
And if you use profit metrics, for example, you even get server-side tracking, and they track more conversions, right? So they're not tracking more conversions, but they're measuring better. So did they came from ads, right? Or from another channel, for example.
Gotcha.
So yeah, just POAS is way better. And of course, you still have other things like lifetime value that you could measure. It's maybe a bit harder for some companies, but those are also very important. Or
Mm.
cost of acquiring a new customer.
Yeah. I mean, most people that are, I mean, again, I'm not a PPC specialist, so I'm quite heavy in SEO, but I know a little bit about PMax and setups. I mean, most people I know will set up a PMax campaign, let's say for an e-commerce, and they'll got best sellers, mid sellers, and then zombies, and then
Yeah.
working on a target ROAS. But you're actually saying that you might do that a little bit differently. You're actually is it you're optimizing for target BOAS plus adding server-side tracking. Is that typical for all your campaigns, or is that just only some?
Oh, no. So you need to have an e-commerce company normally, and you need to have different margins in your company. If you're only selling one product, for example, yeah, or if you have 10 products that have the same ROAS, it does not matter. But still, server side is really important. So that will always be important. But for POAS, if you have different margins, and yeah, e-com companies.
Gotcha. It's amazing, man. Let me ask you, right? So I mean, that's already a lot of value, like in terms of looking at things in a different way. Can I ask you, like, on top of that, because you've mentioned a lot, you've mentioned server side, you've mentioned target BOAS, you've mentioned optimizing your landing pages. What outside of those things, what sort of tools do you recommend? I know a lot of people are using like Hyros, Triple Whale, Microad Script. Um, do you have any recommendations for people watching this, either PPC specialists or business owners running small to large campaigns? What's your what's the thing that really helps you? Like, I know a lot of people love the mic roads. You might have something else.
Yeah, so for example, I've used the micro:roads script for every company that has a PMax campaign, of course, to check the channel insights. using ChatGPT for inspiration for my headlines. It's important to write good prompts
Yeah.
and not take everything too seriously. So it's more inspirational. You can use tools like Optio, where you can get results in your demographics, for example,
Yeah.
profit metrics for POAS and server-side tracking. If you also want server-side tracking for Google Analytics for Stape or Taggers, for example, are companies. Besides that, in Europe, we had a court case against Google for the CSS. CSS is the platform where you sell the products on, the shopping comparison platform. That's only for shopping. And in Europe, you get a 20% discount if you're using a different CSS from Google. So, for example, you can use Product Hero. I think Tenable has one. Flow Boost, I think, also has one. So in Europe, another CSS, and then also just creating different titles in shopping with Channable, for example, or Product Hero, and you can also segment with these tools. Also with Profit Metrics, you can segment. That's way stronger. Like POAS, server side, and you can then segment based on the server side data and the POAS.
Yeah. Wow. And
So
that stuff you're
I would
regularly
say
setting up.
yes.
Yeah. Wow. That's next level, man.
So let me think. Yeah, you still have a lot of other tools, right? Or documents you can do. I mean, you have different courses. You could just watch YouTube videos. There's a lot out there, but for tools, I would say these are the one that comes up in my mind as first.
Yeah, definitely. I think another question that I guess, ad specialists are always auditing accounts and looking for the best structure. They're looking for the best structure. They're looking for the best setup for them to scale and maintain profitability. Um, yeah, like how do you sort of manage expectations with clients that, e-commerce can be a very seasonal thing. Most revenues in the lead up to Black Friday often, right? You probably find that. So maybe the first question is like, what do you have like a standard setup for PMAX, like a structure, or like would you recommend one over the other, like a search campaign, or are you running them all at once? And the second question, um, yeah, so maybe you can start off there, I guess.
Yeah, normally non-branded search campaign,
Mhm.
branded search campaign, branded standard shopping,
Yeah.
and non-branded PMAX. If I get enough conversions, the PMAX campaign, I will split it up in different segments normally.
Mhm.
Um, DSA campaign, remarketing campaign. Um, Let me check if I forgot something. If you have budget for other funnels, you can even test with demand gen or YouTube, but that's more for mature accounts that
Yeah.
have already spent a lot of money on the lower funnel. And with lower funnel, I mean with more buyer intent. So standard shopping, for example,
Mhm.
search, PMAX in some areas. But also, yeah, depending on the results, I can choose for a PMAX feed only.
Mhm.
So where you not fill in all the assets so that it shows on search and shopping more. You can do a catch-all, still standard shopping campaign to
Yeah.
get some extra volume. Um, yeah, normally it's something like that. And then based also on if a company says, I want to get this amount of budget to this amount of product group in search, yeah, there is a chance that I have to split the search campaigns out in different campaigns again.
Yeah, 100%, man. Look, man, I want to talk about all your resources that I've got up here on my screen because they're very, very valuable. Um, who do you recommend this for? Who do you recommend this for? And man, you've got so much on here. So like, if people were, and I know I was asking a lot of questions. You probably remember my LinkedIn messages. I was like, man, like, do you have this? Do you have that? And you've got so much on here. Where do you
I think
even
there,
start? Where do you start?
like, I created this template that you can buy on my website. I think I launched it in January. Took me some time, and I'm still updating it. And it's basically for everybody. It's if you're a specialist, you can still get some tips out of it, and also if you're starting, you can get some tips out of it, and it just shows you the way a bit, right? And yeah, there's so much information, PDFs. I think if you go through all of it, you will get value out of it 100%. And the nice thing is that I keep updating it, and yeah, normally I will increase the price because is more information in it, and you will always have access to that information if you have the main URL because you can copy the sheet.
Yeah.
And yeah, just tons of PDFs, videos. And I will later, next month or this month, we'll do a big update that includes the new design.
Yeah.
So yeah, good things are coming, and yeah, it's just basically for everybody.
Yeah, man, you've got so much on here, and it's like honestly, it's crazy what you've got in here. You've got GA4, got measurements, you've got absolutely everything. YouTube funnel events. I don't know what you don't have in here, man. That being said, I can see you do like a lot of thinking about where Google Ads is sort of going. And I think that's what I want to move on to because like everyone's sort of, I feel like everyone's doing this sort of same thing now. And we've only got a short time to sort of, to sort of end on. But I feel like, when I sort of started probably 5 to 10 years ago, like the main thing was like, there wasn't really e-com at the time. It was like search campaigns. That was Google. And I feel like it went to like shopping and now it's like PMax / demand gen. Where's Google going with this, man? And you were talking a lot about server side. I feel like people haven't really caught up to that sort of stuff yet. Like a lot of the people I know aren't really regularly talking about server side tracking and all these sophisticated things that you're talking about. Even BOAS, I haven't really heard of that term. I've heard target ROAS. But where's this all going, man? Like, what's the next thing now? Like, where do you see this all moving?
I think Google will try to sell more inventory to us, more channels. I think YouTube keeps growing. I think broad match will it's becoming better, and I think more important because people are searching for more complex queries, and with generative AI, people will also do more difficult and longer queries, and that's where broad match comes in. Um, can be hard for small companies because they do not have enough conversion data, right? And it's hard to smart bid for them. And generative AI will also, of course, make it way easier to create good pictures, good videos, good ad text. And I think you really need to try learning learning to write good prompts to make sure you're using the new tools right. I mean, for example, Google did this as example. You're holding a St. Patrick's Day sale maybe. um, Make sure your product has the St. Patrick's Day design, right? And I think you can get way more conversions that way. And normally you would have asked your designer maybe a few days ago or weeks also, like, can you create all these pictures with St. Patrick's? And now you can just do it with a prompt, right? If you're using the right prompt. Um, so I think you can make sure you adapt those features early and test with them early, and you can get some competitive edge in there. So, and in general, I think just less control, more smart bidding, more algorithms, um, more higher level work for PPCers, like strategies, which campaign to use, more clients for PPC specialists. That way, higher salary because you're doing more strategy work. Um, yeah, and like you said, still a lot of people do not have implemented the server side offline conversions and BOAS, or even if somebody sends a product back, you can remove that from your Google Ads account. A lot of companies don't do that.
Wow.
and there's still a lot of room to grow.
So much value, man, what you provided. And I feel like what you're saying in a nutshell is even though there's tools like ChatGPT that's starting to automate things like maybe you can use ChatGPT to write up your headlines, the sophistication of Google is getting, I feel like from what you're telling me right now, it's getting even more sophisticated. And that if you're a business owner, you really need a specialist at this stage. It's not something that the Google makes it sound like you can just sign up for a free account, get $800 in credit, and then you know what I mean, and then you're making money. Like from what you're saying, man, it's like you really need a specialist, or alternatively, you need to actually be investing in like a course or resources like yours and spending 100 hours in the platform and watching resources like yours. Is that your general idea?
Yeah, I would say that's my general idea. And the thing also for business owners is, and as a business owner, you do not need always somebody that's looking in the account, right? You can also learn a bit yourself, like the small things, and have somebody looking in it once a month or once a quarter. You can say, okay, just show me the small things, I will do those, and then you can check the bigger things, right? If maybe you do not want to have somebody checking it every week, for example, because that can cost a lot of money, right? So
Yeah.
also as a business owner, think like, okay, what do I want? Do I want to spend some time here? Yes or no? Is it worth my time? Yes or no? Or can I do other things? Maybe if I can do other things, let somebody else do it, for example.
Yeah.
Um, because yeah, I have so many offers I can give businesses, right? I can say, okay, I can learn you a bit. I can do the setup for you, and you can optimize later, and I will show you how to optimize. And if you have questions, you can just book 1 hour from me. So there is a lot of things that you can do when you work with freelancers, right, or
Yeah,
companies.
100%, man. I mean, look, that there's some big things coming up from what I'm reading. There's like, cookie deprecation. So really get in touch with, someone like yourself. Um, is it Adrian or Adriaan? You got a double A.
Like in the Netherlands, we say Adriaan, and
Adriaan.
English people say Adrian.
Adrian. Awesome, man. So, hey, thank you so much for really having this chat today. I feel like you've provided so much value. Like I said, even for PPC specialists watching this, if you're a business owner, there's a lot of big things coming up. Cookie deprecation. That's going to mean that you're going to need something like a server-side tracking to really optimize your conversions and actually track a lot better. Otherwise, your account may or may not suffer. I mean, I'm not in big accounts like Adrian all the time. So thank you so much, man. And yeah, speak to you soon.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, and have a nice day.